Any like form of communication ultimately becomes a way to sell and transport drugs.
100%.
You know, like the internet.
I communicate through my butthole. So
yeah, exactly.
Welcome back to Show Me Yours podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm Jackie Agnew.
I'm Jonny DeVito.
And I'm Ty Boissano. How are we feeling today?
We are feeling fantastic, Ty. We are in the building with new broadcaster voice, new broadcast vibes, new couch vibes.
That's right. We got an upgrade to my living room.
Upgrade, Upgrade got kicked out of the mushroom.
Yeah, now that you're cultivating like an actual farm next door, I feel like it's better, that we keep all spores and like I don't want to contaminate your area. You know what I mean? You don't want to contaminate our lungs. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
But now we're in a more comfortable place. We got a Beavis and Butthead kind of vibe right now.
Yeah.
He's wearing the chaussettes right now, man. He's got them socks on right now.
Shouts to Julie.
Yeah.
So Ty, this is the new digs, new year. This is
new
the first
year
episode that that we're recording in the new year, and we haven't seen you in a minute. How have you been?
I've been good, man. I had a good little break because we had a little break.
We
doing
did.
the pod.
Mm-hmm.
We did. We took a break. It was consensual. It was mutual. You know what I mean? It wasn't like a breakup or anything like that.
We weren't doing other people's podcasts.
No.
Right?
Mostly because there was no invite.
Yeah. I would have been open.
We're at that point. Yeah.
Do you think it's because they don't want us there because like we're too big that they feel awkward to reach out?
We would outshine the hosts.
Okay, that what it is.
Yeah.
We're just so strong
so.
Individually, you know what I mean, that this is the only podcast that can contain us, right? We're kind of like like an Avengers or maybe even a Legion of Doom situation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah. Well, while we got you guys here, why don't you hit that like button, give us an old subscribe, leave a comment. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and share us on your story. Give us a tag. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Tell your dog. Tell your cat. That's
how the word's gonna spread. I think it's word to mouth, but mostly like word to animal mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
so
they
can. They have a pretty thriving
homeward bound
community.
Yeah. Okay.
Just in case your dog gets lost, he has something to tell people about when he's out there, other than what I mean.
Exactly.
Because like obviously, I need some help? Can you get me home? Right. But on the way home, you need something to talk about. Now you got. You can talk about the podcast.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Well, no, speaking of, follow us on Facebook. Speaking of Facebook, I'm just going to say it right now, Jackie Agnew. Hitting 1 million views on a little clippage. I just got the news as of earlier today. So that's fucking...
Got the wire?
I got it was a telegram.
It was a telegram. It arrived...
By pigeon.
By pigeon.
We'll get into that. Hey, we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Congrats. It's fucking sick. You got 1 million views on a clip.
I was talking about hand jobs. One specific hand job that I had given the morning that clip was recorded.
Absolutely. If you remember whatever episode that we were talking about, because I don't remember it. I was still lost in a haze and a fever dream. You know what I mean? Of just
of a hand job.
I'm just going back to this thing, right? Ty, you know that that hand jobs have gotten like some kind of a bad rap.
They have gotten a bad rap. Yes.
And I'm against that. We're against that. And it's good that we can actually move forward into a new year with a new technique. It really doesn't matter the way that you do it as long as you do it with love. And a whole lot of spit. So
okay.
Okay. Anyways, watch the clip.
Watch the clip. I have a much more tasteful take on it.
Not exactly what all the comments would say.
Don't read the comments.
I love that that's like a huge, from what I have seen or like that, or a lot of like successful people that I've seen, or they're like, just don't read the comments, like whatever. Jackie,
some of
Jackie not only reads the comments, but totally engages with the most incel-y of incels. It's crazy how they just come out.
Well, there are some wild ones. The one that
Shout
on
out to-
fucking Christmas Day, this guy he had already commented on my video.
Oh, it's so great. What a
saying-
life.
Shout out to Peter Grant for giving us a call and letting us know this was happening
It
live.
was just like, I thought he was the guy who he was the incel.
He baited him or whatever.
Yeah,
He
it was
he
great.
had commented on one of my reels, like, you know,
Days before.
saying over a week before, just saying, you know, the standard shit, like your parents should be ashamed of you, all of that, you know, what you get on online videos.
Yeah, women in comedy
yeah.
kind of you know, it's a lot of the same same talking points.
Yeah,
you know?
and then Peter Grant replied, I will fuck you in the ass. And
Shout out Peter
then
Grant.
the original commenter just said, well, I'm a straight male, so that's very gay of you. And then nothing else was said. And then
At no point
yeah.
did Peter Grant be like, "Oh, this isn't gay."
Yeah, right?
no,
Yeah,
is aware what
that
he's
was
doing.
not
Gay
the
about it.
intention to be
Totally.
not gay. in that moment.
yeah. I believe the intention was to be pretty gay.
Yeah.
Which is I think I love that from like a bully standpoint where it's like it's a lame bully, you know what I mean, that doesn't have like any comeback.
They got nothing.
Because
Yeah.
if you're gonna sit there and shit just on like on women's comedy or women in general or whatever, right, and pick, you know what I mean, the focal point, you know, of all of your hatred or whatever, you're gonna focus it on one Jackie Agnew. You know what I mean? And then you're gonna get a little bit of side spill. And as soon as somebody else, like another man, has something to say to challenge you, like your only comeback is schoolyard. Well, like I don't know, man. That's pretty
That's
gay.
pretty fucking gay.
That's
of
pretty
you.
gay that you said that you would fuck me in the ass. And that's like the entire point of it is to demoralize, is to make a woman out of you from a Peter Grant perspective. That's how they do it in Australia. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to say that that's how I'd get down, but you know, I'd probably kiss him on the neck first. You know what I mean?
You're a little more.
before going
yeah.
straight
Absolutely,
to
right?
ass
I can't get
fucking.
hard with just violence.
Johnny's leading and going, "How about a hand job?"
Yeah.
I promised
that's
him so
spit.
much more, and I get there and I just want the handy.
Yeah. Okay. I wasn't
What a
gonna
letdown.
read it off, but honestly, this one's worth it because it's pretty funny.
Okay.
Let it rip.
And I wanted to remember his name so I can give him a shout out. DB Stallman.
Shout out DB
A
Stone.
little close to Stalin.
Yeah. This is such incredible garbage. File under horrific female comedians who no one would even notice if they kept their legs together.
Zing.
Just
New.
yeah, just
File under.
File under, I like that.
just unbelievable. Only in this occupation can someone just say they're a comedian. It doesn't work in sports or medicine or plumbing or engineering. Only some slut.
I remember
When I
reading
read
this
that
and being
one,
like,
yeah.
"Oh wow."
Yeah.
got my number.
Only some slut talking about guys. Yeah. talking about guys ejaculating on her stomach. I like that he went slut and then kind of stepped it up to ejaculating. You know,
Do you think, like,
he's playing
he's-
with language
Yeah,
here.
but he's
you
trying
know?
to be like the more intelligent one or whatever, right? Like if you want to say
Yeah.
like busting nuts is the funnier way to say it, but he's trying
Yeah.
to like break you down, you know what I mean, from a pseudo intelligent level.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. What a horrific example of a woman. Everything.
You don't want to gloss over that one.
I love the glossy or yada yada. You're a horrible woman.
Every
If you read your comments, it's like that's like almost
Yeah.
a yada yada point.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Everything a decent, intelligent man would never want, which is
Oh.
fair.
Oh.
To
I'm
be
neither
fair.
decent nor intelligent.
Then Peter Grant, I will fuck your ass. Well, I'm a 49-year-old guy, so that is very gay. And then a week later, on Christmas morning, he goes.
Wakes up and he's like, no,
He
no,
comes
I'm
up,
not done.
I'm not done yet. Now I get it. I unfortunately watched your OnlyFans scam bit. So one of Peter's bits he has posted on his Instagram. You realize it's not comedy to just talk about things that happen to you, right? For instance, today I had some chili. For the good of the universe, don't quit your carpentry job. It makes sense now why you'd be frequenting a Jackie Agnew page. A woman telling strangers about a guy ejaculating in her belly button.
Doubling down on
Yeah.
the ejaculating.
Might actually make you feel good about your own comedy.
It's not actually good
To be
writing if
clear,
you're gonna-
I am a way better comedian than Peter Grant.
I knew this whole setup was for something. That was the payoff right there.
Peter would be the first one to tell you.
Yeah. Yeah. Peter, I can't tell you how amazing this Christmas gift is. XO. DB Stallman, it helps distract from your gay attraction mentioned above. Peter, imagine your kids hating you so much. This is what you're doing on Christmas. DB, yeah, nailed it. Yesterday we drove across Iowa to see family, witnessed a near fatal accident, one car ahead of us, ended up helping 2 elderly people trapped in their car in the ditch with windows shattered.
Okay, bud.
Right?
That's
Peter,
my
right?
favorite. It's like,
No,
also,
this
I'm a
next
hero and a good father. You know
Yeah.
what I mean, right? Like, I could go from this.
Well,
from
actually,
this
it was
high
Christmas, and I went to Nam.
Yeah. Yeah.
What?
This
horse. We were building camps for refugees in Nicaragua.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is the grand finale, though. So Peter goes, I can't tell you how much I wish it was you in that accident. DB Stallman comes back with a fucking novel. DB Stallman goes, that's a cool thing to say. Really nice, and my 13 and 16-year-old children appreciate that sentiment. I hit post too soon before. Wasn't done.
They're 13 and 16. They gotta just hate this fucking guy.
Right? So after the drive across Iowa in 0 degrees, we arrived at my elderly in-laws' house. I'll be taking 3-mile walks daily with my kids because I currently walk 6 miles a day. My kids and I are cooking some meals while we're here and also going to the local college to work out. My daughter...
You can't. You're not going to a regular gym, bro? Why are you
Right?
taking-
Why are you going to a local college?
By the way, going to the local college to work out,
Yeah.
little gay.
Little gay.
It's a
Little gay.
Go with the swim team there, bud?
Yeah.
My daughter is a gymnast and stays in shape doing conditioning between classes, getting ready for competition starting in January. She also has a baking business, right? She also
Hey,
has
Dad, stop talking
Yeah.
about my life online.
right? It's so weird. Don't
He's
talk
just
about your
doxing his
daughter's
daughter.
gymnastics
And this is where
on
she's going to
someone's
be.
Instagram
And
comment.
this is the gym. This is the address to the gym.
Yeah, right?
She doesn't
She-
let guys ejaculate on her tummy.
Yeah, she also has a baking business and made $2,000 in the last few months. Pretty good for a 13-year-old. We're very
really?
close. Yeah,
Paper
right?
route.
Right? Yeah, we're very close and play music and sing together. My son is 15, so he's already going back on what he said. He said 13 and 16 first. Now he's saying
Yeah.
13 and 15.
What are their birthdays, Gary?
Yeah, my son is 15 and does woodworking and metalworking. He plays piano and has written over 100 compositions. I've taught them both how to cook and build things and
You
take
went with
care
the
of their
baker
health.
first when your son's a fucking virtuoso and
Right?
he's read 100 full
Yeah.
compositions. That's pretty impressive.
They each have a notebook that we write things in nightly so they have memories to look back at in the future. I have over 12,000 pictures of them on a hard drive. Those aren't his kids.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It's
Yeah,
like he's
right?
just like, that's how the cops get him. Like, he just gets an Andrew Tate pizza box situation
Yeah.
right now because the police
Yeah.
just need him to admit that he has 1,200 photos of children.
Right.
get a thumb mark on
12,000.
a situation.
12,000.
12,000?
Yeah, 12,000. He
Man.
counted. We have a great
That's a picture of
relationship.
every child ever.
We have a great relationship, and it's not surprising that such a loser as yourself would stoop so low as to insult my children. I like how he's calling Peter a loser when he's the one commenting on a fucking 28-year-old girl's Instagram reel
Yeah,
right
dude.
now and attacking a fucking 26-year-old guy. Like, and we're the fucking losers.
Incredible. You know what I mean? But the commitment, you know what I mean, to wake up on Christmas morning and still hate that much, you know what I
Yeah.
mean, right? Like, you got to give it up.
Yeah,
When you
this
have
is my-
kids.
yeah,
It's
right?
not like he's like Christmas morning, like,
He
oh, it's a sad
definitely
time.
doesn't talk to his kids.
No, there's no way. He drove
This
them
is-
to Iowa to see their mom, and he's
Oh,
sleeping in
yeah.
a fucking motel.
See his
Like,
in-laws or whatever.
Get the
Yeah.
fuck out of here.
This is a good part. It was predictable that you'd wish I had been in that car wreck. I actually posted that information because I knew that's what you'd say.
I got you.
I took a screenshot and we'll post it whenever I see your name come up so people have some idea of what you're really like. I mean, other than a terrible comedian. Again, not wrong. I'm sure there's I'm sure there's more to you than some guy who just can't write jokes. Don't be jealous because your life is shit and others have it better. Don't feel bad that you have to appreciate something like Jackie Agnew and threaten to have anal sex with another man. What an incredible fag. I don't know.
Where is this dude from? This is great.
Right? I don't
Oh,
know
my-
if you claim to be straight, but if so, then your family and friends should know the truth about your homosexual desires. So this guy definitely like wrote this, from either a motel or a basement of some sort. If he has kids, he does not have a relationship with them.
No, and I think he doesn't have. Like, I would be curious if he has a good relationship with anybody. If that's the case,
definitely
you know what
not. If that's how he spent his.
I mean,
Christmas
I'm sure
morning.
with the fellows down at the college gym.
Yeah,
I mean, definitely.
right? That's the other
That's
thing.
actually probably not a
It's
good
that he
relationship
made
either,
it
to be honest
sound
with you guys.
like-
Honestly, it's full of shame and regret every time. Like,
Yeah.
at the beginning, it's exciting, but afterwards, he leaves. He just punches the steering wheel, and
Right.
probably his son.
There's a
You know
man
what I
who's
mean?
worked out at a college gym before.
Worked out in a couple college gyms. I'm just telling you.
Very adept.
You gotta love you.
He made it sound like his life is so thriving. He's fucking rescuing people from car crashes. He's fucking working out at the local college. He's
Can we just
His
call gay
kids-
sex working out at the local college from now on?
His kids, well, one of them is good. One of them
His-
makes cookies or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely. The other one aspires to,
He's making food with his children. They're writing in journals together. He's walking 6 miles a day. He's looking at 12,000 photos of his kids. He's helping his son write compositions. He's helping his daughter with her baking business. And yet on Christmas morning, he spent multiple hours writing these comments on my fucking Instagram clip.
And with the
And I love how they don't understand that, like, keep commenting. Like,
Yeah.
keep doing it.
That's
Like,
the best part. Yeah.
Like,
I ended
you're an
up
idiot.
after, because it was like Christmas morning, and I responded after all of this. I was just like, I'm genuinely sorry your life is so shitty that you're like spending Christmas morning commenting all of this shit on my reel. And if you do have a daughter, like it's a great influence that you referred to like me as something and not like someone or whatever. And then right away he like commented
Right
back
back.
something else, and so then I just like blocked him because I was like, this is a lunatic.
Yeah, there's no way that you can
Yeah.
go after it, right? There's a few ways that like you can choose to hate women on the internet. I mean, me and Ty do it privately, you know, no post.
Yeah.
We just
Same.
screenshot and text each other.
How does this guy not know what a burner account is?
Exactly. What a fucking loser. Anyway, the other way to go about it, I think, is like just like the more subtle hate. But you got a follower, Munch My Brunch Hole.
Oh, Munch My Brunch Hole. Yeah, shout out to Munch My Brunch
We
Hole.
love Munch My Brunch
We love
Hole.
Munch My Brunch
Right?
Hole.
Like,
I do too. just for this name alone.
Munch My
Right,
Brunch Hole's
yeah,
the hater of the
yeah.
year. We laid in bed and she just like pulled her phone over and like just showed me like, look who's hating on me right now. And when you do it at that kind of level, then I'm okay with that kind of troll.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you're gonna
Because
be
nobody
clever
watches my
about
shit
it.
enough to even engage this much, right? Like there's got to be this
Well-
like,
I'm getting
hate.
bots. That's all you get.
Yeah, it's
I'm
just-
just getting
yeah.
like
Yeah.
bots with not even names, just emojis, just
Yeah.
squirt emojis.
100%. Yeah, it's
Squirt.
emojis. 5,
Seriously,
3,
that's
4.
all it is.
Man, I'm with
Every
you.
new follower I am is like, what? I love seeing what losers I know who have agreed to befriend
Yeah.
such bot.
Yeah.
That's my favorite, is seeing who's
Yeah.
done that.
That it is funny because, you know, being like a woman in comedy, you have to deal with bullshit like that. But the flip side of it is that now, like in like the online world, like they're between like fucking like incel, chauvinists, and just like creepy dudes. Like you can get so much more views and like
A
followers
million views.
and attention so much more quickly just from like the hate and like the weirdness, you know?
What would you say though? Like the majority of the comments are good.
No.
No? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, fuck.
My God,
Like
no.
very few, right?
Very-
Like, which is, like-
yeah.
But you have
you'll-
more likes than like dislikes.
That's the thing is that you
Yeah.
get way more views
Because
and
regular
way
people
more
are
likes
just gonna
and
fucking
shit.
press the like button. and keep
Exactly.
scrolling,
You know, that's the
right?
thing is that when people, there are some nice comments, but it's like for the most normal people won't comment, you know? And so it's always like the crazy, again, like either like shitty incels or just like creepy guys kind of commenting. And then every once in a while you'll get like once a few weeks ago I had a guy like message me on Facebook and I'm always like, oh God, here we go. But it was just like, hey, you know, you probably get messages all the time. I just wanted to say like thanks for like being so funny, like it's awesome kind of
Who
thing.
the fuck said that?
Yeah. I didn't respond.
Fuck out of here.
But
man.
you know, you'll get some like that and then I always like remember those ones. But then like you said, like at this point, I'll go, if I look at the comments, like probably 80% of them are either terrible or creepy. And so I'm like at the point now where I'm like, just don't read them. But it's like on Instagram, you'll get notified every time someone comments, but on like Facebook and YouTube, you don't. But I'm like, I don't know, part of me loves it.
Well, that's the thing.
You've
right?
been able to turn it though, like you've been able to like use it. And like I said, the way you engage is fucking hilarious. And we know like other people that engage with stupid shit, even with bots and stuff like that. I'm like, it is funny as long as it doesn't turn into the whole thing, I guess. I don't know.
Exactly. That's the thing. That's where you have to cut it off. Yeah, that's where I like bless Peter's heart, but I would have stopped engaging a long time. But it was hilarious to wake up to on Christmas. And as soon as I said something, then he replied, and then I instantly just like block people because then I get like freaked out. I'm like, oh God, like I don't want them to see shit I'm posting or whatever. But yeah, check me out on Facebook Reels.
Fuck yeah.
Totally. You'll continue to do it. It's like it's a 50-cent business model, right? It's a fucking insane clown posse business model, right? It's like take in the hate or whatever, right? And then throughout that you will find, you know what I mean, like the like you know, true fans of the true believers or whatever.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. Out of the million views, how many of those are people that didn't like it? Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like,
that's
obviously.
It's not a million dislikes. It's not a million comments, right?
Exactly.
Thing, right?
Yeah, and like the people sharing it and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, like at this point in our like very like not like careers or whatever, any attention is good attention, especially online.
Oh, all press
as
is
you're
good press,
getting
baby. Yeah.
eyes on you.
Absolutely.
Then, yeah.
She was going to glue my dick to my belly button or something like that, or you know, go like a more wild route about it. You know what I mean? To get our names out there, right?
Yeah.
I was going to pretend that it was a surprise too, right? Like we're both, you know what I mean? Imagine how much things could pop off if like it was like an infamous kind of like spooky urban legend, you know, kind of situation or whatever, right? They could really be like, did you hear? Oh no, that never happened. It's like, oh no, it actually did. These two comics in Vancouver, you know what I mean, did that, and then it's like an easy. Link to find us.
Yeah. All right, we'll come back to that.
That was a pitch.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I don't have a million views. This is how I'm trying to get up there.
All right, we got an awesome album to get into today.
We do.
But first, breaking news.
Hell yeah.
Pigeon wearing a crystal meth like a backpack was caught inside a BC prison yard. So I believe this was in Abbotsford. We have another great journalism on this one. I had a really good time reading this.
It's pretty good.
Shout out to everybody holding it down in Abbotsford Penitentiary.
Yeah. Nearly a century ago, a pigeon breeder approached federal customs officers with a bit of an odd problem. A pigeon he'd recently sold to a buyer in Mexico had flown back to his home in Texas with 2 aluminum capsules full of cocaine tied to its legs.
Nice.
After a brief investigation, officials announced their conclusion. Carrier pigeons smuggled drugs, blared an all-caps newspaper headline on February 2nd, 1930. Drug smuggling pigeons have persisted over the decades since, busted from North America to Europe and Asia. The birds are caught with pills or powder stuffed into mini backpacks, tiny baggies, or zippered pouches, sometimes foiled because they couldn't get off the ground with all that weight. Last week, for the first time in recent memory, one was captured in BC. This is an exciting setup.
Like you know, like the Grinch, when the Grinch is leaving Whoville and he's like
he's got the
he's whipping Max and Max just has to like run. He digs himself into the snow. Carrier pigeon like that with like a kilo of fucking coke on his back. It's so stupid. I love that this has been going on for a long time. I had no idea.
I love setting the scene here so we kind of get the history of it.
People are carrying messages by a pigeon.
Oh yeah, they're
100%.
carrying
pigeons.
That message was usually, "Do you got coke?"
That message was usually like the pigeon would drop it out. The message would be like, "That'll be $80."
Yeah. Well, with any
will
form of communication, ultimately becomes a way to sell and transport drugs.
100%.
You know, like the internet.
I communicate through my butthole. So
yeah, exactly.
That's a great way.
Apparently, induced.
It's like Ace Ventura.
Yeah, when you take like anal suppositories or whatever of drugs, apparently just like bypasses your liver and all that stuff. And like I've had friends of mine swear to me that if you're going to do like MDMA or ecstasy or anything like that,
that's
then
the way.
Through the booty is the way.
We've
to do it.
had a certain someone on the podcast who might have fessed up to doing that.
To doing butt drugs? When was that?
Yeah,
Sorry, can you refresh
he
my
probably
memory?
won't want me to share his name. I'll bleep it out, but
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you made us fucking bleep the whole episode out. So yeah.
yeah, I think that was part of the part that he had. No, actually, he didn't have me cut that out because he didn't actually say it. So I'll
Oh.
bleep his name out, but we'll leave this in.
All right, rolling up.
Yeah.
Peter Grant. No,
Shout out
Wouldn't
Peter
put it
Grant.
past
shout out
him.
Peter Grant.
Yeah.
Man, I was saying on Tuesday, he's doing this dumb fucking thing where like on New Year's he's decided to do a clean shave. I hope you see this, Peter, because he knows he looks ridiculous. So this isn't new information, but
Shit on Peter Hour right now.
and but he was on stage and I was laughing so hard because Peter is very high energy guy on stage, but it's like normal Peter, like it looks like he's just like like a fun guy kind of bouncing around, like kind of like a fun lovable pothead. Shaved Peter, he looks like a fucking meth head up there
You little
bouncing
fat
around
baby.
like, oh my god. I'm like, something's gone seriously wrong.
The funny thing, it's because when we saw him, it wasn't like clean shave. Really, it was like stubble was kind of coming back. So
Yeah.
to us, it was like 5 minutes after Tim Allen shaves in the Santa Claus, and it's already kind of started growing back or whatever. So it was
good
almost
Santa
like
Claus
patchy. It
reference.
wasn't full
Yeah, I
or
was
whatever.
gonna say, yeah, of course. All right, we stuck it in there. All right.
Yeah, man.
It's a great,
I'm
great
real-
trilogy.
I see the Christmas tree up here, and you know what I mean. It's got me thinking about Christmas and stuff. I bawled my eyes out during Santa Claus. I think we talked about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Santa Claus 1. We went on to watch 2 and 3. I will say Santa Claus 2, I think I've seen it maybe more times than Santa Claus 1. That's really good. And Santa Claus 3 is absolutely fucking ridiculous. But it's still
Yes.
kind of
It
fun.
was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Yeah,
Shout out
yeah.
Martin
Got
Short.
Martin Short and Jack
Oh.
Frost. Yeah.
Much shorter, yeah.
100%.
This is kind of a curveball, said John Randall, Pacific Regional President of the Union for Canadian Correctional Officers. Randall said it was a routine day after the holidays at Pacific Institution in Abbotsford, BC on December 29th. Officers were standing in one of the fenced inmate unit yards, which prisoners use regularly for hanging out, playing games, or just getting some fresh air.
You know, you gotta get some R&R.
You gotta. Then the officers noticed something strange, a gray bird with a small package on its back. From my understanding, it was tied to it in a similar fashion as like a little backpack, Randall said. The officers moved in. They had to corner it, Randall said. You can imagine how that would look, trying to catch a pigeon. After
No, I can't.
all
Fuck
these
that.
fucking officers
Waddling
trying
guards.
to fucking corner a
These
pigeon without it
Picturing
flying
all
away.
of them are fat.
Oh, of course.
course,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very big duck waddle on all of these
Yeah.
cops. Bunch of Wiggums is
Yeah.
basically what we're looking at.
Just
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah, come here.
dungarees are
Yeah,
splitting
yeah,
their
come on, you
ass,
pigeon.
yeah.
Come here.
After, quote, a lengthy period of time, the officers apprehended the bird, removed his cargo, and set it free. Randall said the package contained about 30 grams of crystal meth, which he described as a fairly substantial amount of the intensely addictive stimulant.
30
It's
is
a-
more than
yeah.
an ounce. That's a
That's
fucking
a
lot of
lot.
meth.
Yeah.
To bring on on bird bag.
Yeah,
That's-
fucking.
That's
a
one
pigeon-
bird?
One bird.
One-
a pigeon was
like,
carrying over an ounce
30
of
grams.
crystal meth.
I
Did the
feel like
bird
meth
use the
is.
meth to be able
I
to
feel like
fly
meth's
in?
heavy, right?
Yeah, right? How this has
Compared to
got to
like
be a
what?
big
Compared to
pigeon.
like 30 grams
is
of
30
weed.
grams, right? Like does a pound
Yeah.
of bowling balls weigh more than a pound of feathers? A pound is a
And-
pound.
and
right?
yeah, you're
so
I've
it
right.
heard
just
that
depends
one.
on
I've
how-
heard that
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah.
it depends on like how. I mean, okay, so 1 ounce.
Okay, so
is
that's
fuck
probably not
all,
that
right?
much,
A bird
yeah.
can carry 1 ounce. It just doesn't. Need
Yeah,
to
but it's not carrying ounces of weed.
Yeah, I
No.
was gonna say because that's a big
Yeah.
package. Yeah, how big is an
Exactly.
ounce of meth?
You could pack the shit out of it and get
Right.
it down. You know what I mean? They get like kilos in like
Right.
disc form or whatever when you see like massive drug busts and all that shit. So like, yeah, I don't know. I've never had an ounce.
An ounce of
Yeah.
meth in your possession.
No, but I mean, I've seen what a gram looks like, and it's pretty small.
I've
Yeah.
seen I've seen what 28 grams look like.
Yeah.
I've seen what 30 grams looks like.
Yeah.
But just spaced out
Yeah, yeah.
But over the course
over
of
a
couple
weekend.
weeks, yeah.
a long weekend.
Yeah,
I'm not
well,
a savage.
yeah, okay,
I'm
I'm
not
not
crazy.
an animal.
I'm not an animal. I'm not an addict.
I'm not a fucking pigeon over here.
Yeah.
It's definitely scary with the fact that it was crystal meth that was found on the bird because that causes a whole lot of problems. He added, Corrections Canada. Yeah.
I love that there's like the I want to see the movie, right? Because like this isn't just a bird that flew an ounce of crystal meth into a prison. This is a prisoner who's come up with this like grand scheme. Like, why does he need the meth? Does he just want to sell drugs? Is he in so much trouble that he needs to get these drugs in? Right? What's the character motivation here?
It
right?
could be like,
and then how is he just been sitting there? Do you remember in Training Day when there's a guy on the roof or whatever, and he's clapping at the birds and shit. Like, you need to fucking know how to like hone in a fucking carrier pigeon.
That's what. That's what I'm.
Takes like there's a lot of. Oh,
it does go into
fantastic.
this. Okay. Corrections Canada confirmed in an email it's investigating but wouldn't provide further details. In recent years, corrections officers have increasingly been on the lookout for drones dropping contraband into correctional facilities.
Heard about that. That's cool.
Last month, a drone dropped a firearm into Mission Institution. That's fucked. That's crazy. Imagine just fucking rifle
A
gets
scramble
dropped down.
at a prison.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You ever seen a
Into fucking
pinata go
prison
off? I mean,
guard?
it's wild.
Yeah.
Let alone a gun.
That is
Have you seen fucking
insane.
the League where Rafi Jason Mascalcas or whatever?
Yeah.
There's two couple characters are getting into this fight outside a bar or whatever, and he just has a butter knife in his hand. He throws it down. He's like, "Dive for the knife."
Yeah.
Imagine that in a prison yard
That's
situation.
insane.
That's the movie.
Imagine
you
being the guard watching that and being like, "Is that?"
Oh,
and then
shit. And then John Wick is
Yeah.
imprisoned in that fucking thing.
Oh my
man.
god!
That's
yeah,
the
how is that
movie.
not a bigger story? Like, how is this the first time we're hearing about
like,
it?
How's the pigeon getting all the shine in
How
it?
is the meth pigeon?
you always want to
Someone
sweep
was
it under
getting-
the rug, right? Like they don't want
Yeah.
any bad press. In
That's
these
true.
prisons
They
and
don't
stuff
want to
like that,
fucking
right?
give people ideas and shit too.
We need to get
You
more
can
into
you could drop a
prison news.
firearm in here with those things. Since the drone crackdown, Randall said smugglers might be turning back to old school methods like pigeons or throw over, where someone outside lobs a package over the fence. We've been focusing so much on drone interdiction. Interdiction? That's a fun. Okay. Now we have to look at it, I guess, Pigeon said. Now we have to look at, I guess, pigeons again, said Randall.
Hey, I got it. We're there. We got it.
I was like, wait. Is this a quote from the pigeon? Randall hasn't heard of another live pigeon incident in BC in his 13 years of experience. It's a bit of a reality check for us that the creativity that people are going to use to try and smuggle drugs and other contraband into the institutions is multifaceted.
You bet your ass.
Homing pigeons have been used to carry messages since the Roman Empire, particularly valued during the First and Second World Wars for their ability to navigate long distances to return to their home lofts with key messages.
Very nice.
Okay, so now we
Those
get into the
snitching-ass
history of
pigeons.
homing pigeons.
Okay.
One expert said that there are two plausible ways to use a pigeon to deliver drugs. All right, take notes.
Here we go.
Yeah. One, someone could throw the freighted pigeon over the fence into the prison. I don't like that.
Wait a minute.
Why does it need to be a pigeon?
Because first off, benefits. Dead or alive. Doesn't matter. Just get a pigeon.
Okay.
Because you're just hurling a rock.
But okay, in that sense, why would you use a fucking pigeon? Why? Because doesn't that attract more attention?
Says
of all of a
fucking-
What
sudden
kind
a
of throw are
pigeon
you?
is
What
being
kind of
fucking
throw?
rah!
Is it like a magician
like
sort of throw?
Yeah, like a. Like
Are you fucking
sending
Tom
it into
Brady?
the air,
Yeah,
or
that's
you
what I was
fucking-
thinking.
Because I mean, you're
Like a
getting
fourth
it
fire
wall,
in this
dude. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
because if you're throwing it, I mean, if you're just releasing it kind of thing, then you don't know exactly. It could just fucking
You just
fly
lose
out.
all your meth,
If
right?
if you're throwing it, then presumably it's an untrained pigeon, so you have to fucking hurl that thing at a
Throw
target.
a pigeon over the fence.
So I don't like
That's
that at
awesome.
all.
All right, so that's one.
Second, an inmate could spend months training the bird from the inside to recognize the prison as its home. Someone would get the bird to the outside, fasten its cargo, and release it to return home to the prison.
Wow.
Like Shawshank Redemption, where he had a crow from a baby. You could do that with a pigeon. Then, yeah, the pigeon would come back, said Givo Hasko, director of the Vancouver Poultry and Fancy Pigeon Association.
Givo Hasko?
Wait.
I'm sorry. Can we?
VPFPA?
This is an expert. Guys, this is an
What?
expert's opinion.
What?
Evo Haskell, director of the Vancouver Poultry and Fancy Pigeon Association. We
Yeah.
need to get this merch.
I mean, we all know about VPFPA. but
VPFPA. Yo,
They're
we need
gonna
to
look back
fucking
into
make
what I've
those
said about
shirts.
Yeah.
birds. I might not actually be allowed.
Why does it have to be a fancy pigeon?
Right? It's a fancy pigeon. I like that it goes because Vancouver poultry, that implies like butchered birds.
Yeah,
and
it
then
does.
Fancy pigeon. Like it's like it's fancy pigeon seems like a trained, pigeon wearing kind of like coattails.
You know the
kinda-
pose, right? Like it's like one
Exactly,
foot
it
forward.
has
You
a
know what I mean?
fucking-
Yeah.
Yeah.
he has like a monocle perhaps. He's drinking a dry martini.
100%.
Why is this in the same association as poultry?
I don't know, but
Maybe all this dude is good at is eating birds. Like maybe fancy pigeon is just like
Cornish
That's
game
like,
hen.
yeah, it's
this
pigeon,
is just
it's pigeon
eating
like
fucking
prepared
foie
a
gras all the
certain
time.
way.
Like,
Sure.
yeah.
You like
Yeah.
see it on a fancy restaurant menu. It's fancy.
Yeah, for
pigeon.
sure. I've definitely had pigeon before.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Well, Ty, those were days on the street. Those were dark days.
Yeah, trust me.
wanna
Ain't
bring
nothing
that
fancy about that pigeon.
yeah.
Yeah. Oddly enough, though, he did have 28 grams of
now
fat.
that you think about it.
Best score ever.
Yeah.
You just eat
Yeah.
that bird.
See,
alive.
I always tried to change it. I
Yeah.
always tried to train the pigeon, but I just ate him before I could.
Just couldn't help yourself.
You can't get over the needs. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Is pigeon like a fine dining kind of thing?
Yeah, it's used a lot in
Yeah.
like there's like French cooking and stuff like that. I know it's popular in Argentina. Like that's a whole thing there.
That's so weird.
Or
Feel
I
like
know
it
there's
was-
lots of cultures that eat pigeon for
I feel
sure.
like it would take a lot of work for
Right.
not that much meat. Is that the case? or-
Yeah, I feel
Fair
like
enough.
that's.
Okay.
Oh, well, I feel like a lot of those.
Yeah, a
those
lot of
birds.
fucking
Yeah, fair enough.
expensive meats. like
Yeah. Now I
that.
wonder if a dove would be better for this.
Okay, so I have thoughts on doves.
Okay.
So like the only time we see doves, they're
Home Alone
basically
2?
are just like released, at like weddings or fucking, whatever.
Magic or-
They just get
yeah.
released. But the
You've
thing,
never seen a wild dove.
exactly. So
Is it
they're
just a white pigeon?
So I think it is like a kind of pigeon that's just white.
Is there pigeon
But the
class
thing,
structure?
so the thing with doves is that basically they're just like bred for this like business, basically, of people who want fucking pigeons to release or doves to be released, kind of thing. But those doves have no instincts to survive in the wild. So when you release doves, all those doves die very shortly afterwards.
Whoa.
Yeah, because they're either like hunted or whatever. They don't
And
have the
that's-
skills to get
And
food.
that's exactly the point. When you take your method diet and then throw it over the fence.
yeah.
You do it to a dove.
Yeah, option one. I
Yeah.
understand. I get
You
it.
give
Okay.
him a fancy
Yeah.
pigeon and an ounce of meth.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like, let's be honest, a fancy pigeon is a dove.
It is a dove,
Right?
yeah. So what? Okay. But yeah, I remember at one point, I forget how I started thinking this, and then I looked it up, and I was like, okay, that is what happens. And I was like working on a bit that I never did, where I was like, there's something funny about like in like weddings, the sign of like eternal love. You release these doves
Yeah.
that all die like 5 minutes afterwards.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
It also
oh,
represents
yeah,
the
no,
divorce rate.
Yeah,
100%, yeah,
exactly.
yeah. That's a
But
metaphor. I like it.
Haskell goes on to say, it's sad in a way, where the pigeons once were used for saving lives is now being used for smuggling, he added. But I hope that they figure it out.
So fun.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's a great story.
They have like no suspects or like was there somebody in the yard? Like,
no
there's-
one saw any.
Yeah, I'm sure that they said that the Canada Corrections or whatever, they're like, yeah, we're investigating this, but we won't give you any more information.
Fair
so
enough,
I'm sure
fair
that they
enough.
kind of know.
I really just hope this is the one pigeon that got caught. Like there's like the Abbotsford.
Are you think this whole Foot Clan of
I'm
pigeons,
hoping
bro?
that they've been fucking.
Wing
Like, this is
Clan?
how they've been
Yeah.
getting shit in for years.
Yeah.
I
And
feel like
then-
they should make a movie about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like who should play the pigeons
Ooh.
are the same pigeons from Animaniacs, like the Joe Pesci,
Sure.
like pigeons.
Yeah.
Like it's
Half live
it's-
action. Like
no, it is a whole live action, but it's
Are you trying
voiced.
to Roger Rabbit this situation?
No. Oh, that'd be sick
sick
too,
too,
though.
yeah.
That'd be sick too. No. Real pigeons.
Okay.
Right? Maybe put those doves to work. I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, second shot at life.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Pesci voiceover.
Yeah, big. This is but then get Pesci to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that's who.
We could get Joe. We could get Pesci.
What's he doing?
I mean,
Yeah,
whatever
what's
the
Pesci
fuck he
been
wants,
in?
I think.
He's
Yeah.
been in, whenever fucking Scorsese makes a movie.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't think he wasn't the actual voice in the Animaniacs, right? It was just like a Joe
No, I
Pesci
think that
voice.
they but like heavily influenced, I think.
Right, yeah.
That's what they were.
Great
That's
show.
what they're going for. Fucking
Yeah.
probably one of the best, like Warner Brothers, like kids cartoons or whatever. I was super into like the Looney Tunes as well, but
Do you remember Tiny Toons? Also
Tiny
very
Toons,
good.
Yes, but I had a kids book of Tiny Toons, and they kind of like explained the world to me.
Nice.
So I kind of I view everything through the
Through
life
the Tiny
of
Toons lens.
yeah, through like the young Daffy Duck.
Through the lens of Tiny Toons. Nice. Well, shout out to Rihanna Schmunk.
Oh yeah, Schmunk.
Rihanna
Staff
schmunking
writer
it up
who
here.
wrote this for CBC News. You hear the name Rihanna Schmunk and you're like, she would write an article about meth pigeons.
Meth pigeons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Meth
absolutely.
pigeons.
It's an inside job. I feel like Rihanna Schmunk kind of knows a little bit more than she's leading on here. You know what I
What do
mean?
you think? She's got a
Yeah.
couple cages.
So you know what
right?
I find interesting? They said that the pigeon, after they took off the meth backpack, they released the pigeon back, which I love. But isn't that, if this pigeon has been trained from birth, aren't they just releasing accessory to the crime back into the wild?
Well, that's the thing,
that
right?
pigeon
That
is just gonna come right back.
when it comes back with no money attached to it, it's gonna be like, what the fuck, right? Or
Yeah.
That's not gonna be
like,
good for that
well,
pigeon.
no, because
Not
I
He's
think,
gonna be
good for that
swimming with the
pigeon.
doves.
Yeah.
I think that when at some point somebody owes for this, right? Because you can't just attach dollar bills. That's not the currency in prison, right? So you have to, that
You also can't
it
have
just
this.
has to be a one-way delivery.
You can't incarcerate this pigeon either. Like really, you should be. He's
This
smart.
pigeon is more guilty than anybody.
And we've already established that he has a personality, such as Joe Pesci. Because, like, this-
They just
he's
released this
conscious.
fucking
He
thing.
knows what he's doing.
Fuck yeah, he's
Yeah,
Kevin
he
Spacey
knows
and the
what
usual
he's
suspects.
doing.
That
Yeah.
fucking pigeon's just flying away scot-free right now,
Yeah,
right?
but he
It's gonna
knows-
go
yeah,
back.
exactly.
Do you think the only thing that pigeon knows is how to transport drugs, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So you can't put him in
No.
the regular. Like he's got to be in lockdown.
100%, right? And
Okay.
you can't blame the pigeon. You blame the society that raised the pigeon.
Yeah,
You know
in
what I mean?
defense of the pigeon.
Which was
Yeah,
a
exactly.
prison.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So how
This
guilty are
pigeon-
you, Abbotsford
Yeah.
Correctional Facility?
Yeah, this is actually a larger comment on our whole system of prisons.
100%,
Across Canada, across North America. This is what it's come to.
This goes all the way to
is
the
an
top.
innocent pigeon life has been put at risk now.
And then how many more, right? This is just the one pigeon
How
that we
many
know
more?
about.
Right? We don't know how he's going to
Exactly.
survive out there. He's addicted to
Definitely
meth.
not.
Clearly.
He's
If you don't
clearly,
think,
yeah.
if you don't think
He's-
he picked off a couple grams,
Yeah, he just lost 30
strapped to his
grams.
back, he just
He's having a bad time. Yeah.
It was 30 grams. It was supposed to be 2 ounces.
he was
just,
fucking-
he
yeah.
just didn't finish the first one.
Born and raised in a prison, groomed from
yeah,
a
because
very
30
young
grams
age.
is sus.
Yeah, right.
3 grams
yeah,
is sus
yeah,
as
an
fuck.
extra
man.
2
That
grams.
shit,
Who's
like,
that
I-
extra 2 grams for?
100%.
Yeah.
That fucking-
See him flap though,
that
man.
pigeon's on 26 grams of meth.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Oh, poor little pigeon. Oh, well, this is a tragedy.
Well, what are you gonna do,
Yeah.
man? I think at the end of the day,
No, put him to work. I'm tired of these pigeons, man.
yeah,
Put him to work.
fucking
Okay.
right.
They're always pecking around me when I got a sandwich. I don't like.
Yeah, they are aggressive, though. I think
That's our fault.
that is our fault, and I think seagulls are more aggressive than pigeons.
Oh, yeah,
in that
yeah,
way.
Yeah, fuck Granville
Oh, yeah.
Island. If
They're
you're ever
crazy.
visiting the Vancouver
Yeah.
area and you want to like experience like one of like the top tourist destinations or whatever, you're gonna go to Granville Island and you're gonna get like some fish and chips or something, and you're gonna fucking have to swat at these fucking shithawks that are just like bombarding you all the time
It's
for your
crazy.
fucking fish.
Oh,
and
dude,
your
I have
chips.
the ultimate
And it
like
drives me
saw.
nuts. I've lived here fucking for how long, and I've only done it one time because fuck that.
Yeah.
What if obviously meth not a drug of choice, but
Yeah.
right,
Is
I'm
that
thinking
obvious?
in my day, and I'm like, and if you hate birds,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what a dilemma that must be.
Oh,
Honestly.
yeah.
He's
yeah.
got to have flap the fucking
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
You're like,
you got it.
God
You're
damn
like
it.
scared of birds.
Yeah.
And shit. Imagine. Okay, so I'm interested in your take on this story
Okay, yeah,
because
okay.
we all know that of Johnny's distaste for the winged creatures.
It's no secret I'm not a fan of birds.
So what is your
and
take?
I can't imagine pigeons being.
Oh, pigeons
even.
are probably
Pigeons
pretty
are,
high
I mean,
on
you
the
know what I
shit
mean?
list
Yeah,
there.
definitely number one offenders, right? Because do you remember when I was in when we were in film school and I was
I
outside
know.
having a cigarette?
I remember the story.
And a
you've,
bird shit on
yeah.
the tip of the brim of my hat, and I
good
was
luck.
that
Yeah.
fuck
Hate that shit.
I was
Yes.
mortified. I was bummed for like the whole day, and I went and I washed the bird shit off, and I just kept rocking the hat because my hair looks dumb without my hat on once I've already left the house, right? So you just got to wear this bird shit hat. And I was like, I couldn't focus on the lecture at hand. I couldn't really do anything, you know what I mean, with my life that day. And
That's a poop.
honestly, like pretty like nonsense. But the problem is the Vancouver Film School is located on Hastings and Cambie Street. For anybody that knows the Vancouver area knows that it's a fucking dirty ass part of the fucking city, and every pigeon that's in that fucking 5-block radius, you don't want to get shit on by it because it's not just like white bird shit, like, you know what I mean, you see in the suburbs on your car. It's like fucking green and
that
gnarly
shit
and
is like the ooze in Ninja Turtles.
Man. I had one, like,
that's
when
not
I
the
was
first time that a
fucking-
bird shit on me. I've probably been shit on by birds like 3 or 4 times in my life.
You know why that is? You know, it's like not on purpose or whatever, right? They don't have sphincters.
Yeah,
Apparently.
they
That's
don't.
like the whole
they
thing.
can't.
So they don't.
As soon as shit comes,
It's coming. Yeah.
just
So you're
drops.
telling me I could fuck a bird and there would be very little resistance?
That's correct, sir.
Fair enough. All right, now that we know. The thing is that like over like a lifetime of being shit on by birds, and like I walked by like a crow at a crosswalk, Gilmore and Hastings, Willingdon and Hastings, and this fucking bird comes by and it's like full feather, like bitch slaps me in the face.
Yeah, dude. Crows. Yeah.
And
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, I like that ruined my whole day. I was on my way to work and I just walked home and I like fucking like hot showered and like it like traumatized me for.
I had a crow do
You know,
that twice
right?
on like the same walk.
Same.
Like,
Really?
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
I had the
He was like, "You like
fucking-
that, bitch? You like
Yeah.
that?" And he like
That
hopped on the fence, like, "What? What?" And
Fucking-
it came down and
Yeah.
Nick Diaz me again, dude.
I would
had
have
one
run
time,
so fast.
when
Nick
I
and Nate
was
Diaz.
living, when we were at VFS again, and I was living right on Hastings and Abbott, and I was walking. It was before class. We had like a class in the late afternoon, so I was doing groceries in the morning, and I was walking to Sunrise Market, and I cut through the alleyway. That goes like where fucking Gringos is and shit,
Yeah.
and where meat and stuff.
Blood
Cut through
alley.
that alleyway. When I turn in, crow fucking dive bombs my head, and I was like, holy fuck, and just kind of like ran off. Went and did my groceries, came back. My mistake. I cut through the same alley, walking back. Presumably the same
If
crow.
this was a horror movie, I'd be like, this bitch
fucking
deserves it.
dive bombs me again.
Dang.
Yeah, like fucking 20 minutes later. It was crazy.
Yeah, fuck.
That's
that.
like
Yeah.
it's fucking insane,
Yeah.
right? So would I team up if this was the movie that I was writing, you know what I mean? Then I was at my lowest or whatever and I needed to do something to get out of whatever trouble that I was in. Knowing the history of my character, the most likely companion would be a young bird, so that would make the film fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like,
that's
like,
a
you know-
good,
you know, what I mean, right? So given like the opportunity to to maybe love an enemy or, grow as a person or whatever, right? I'm not like opposed to that, but it would take some serious life sentencing, you know what I mean? I would have to be at rock bottom, you know what I mean, to make that turn. As it stands right now, a bird can go fuck itself. And
Right.
you know what I mean? We won't, just like and on some Tupac shit as a
Right.
staff, as a record label, and as a whole crew. And if you want to be
Right.
down with birds, then fuck you too. That is,
This
that's
could
just the way that I
be-
feel. But the thing that I am drawn to this story about is that on the other side of that, something else about my character, almost 50-50 with me hating birds, is me loving crime.
Right.
You know
of
what I mean?
course.
Every
Yeah.
story of crime, every, you know what I mean? The ingenuity of a criminal or whatever to overcome, you know what I mean? In some case, unjust laws or you know what I mean? Or freedom in general. And I don't know if freedom is smuggling an ounce of meth into a prison, but goddamn, it's an interesting story. So
Yeah.
I'm honestly on the fence about this. I think this bird specifically gets a pass. You know
Okay.
what I mean? If I see it in the street,
He
or
did get a
whatever.
pass.
It
That
did-
bird's
yeah,
flying
he's
free right
fucking-
now.
That bird is
100%.
fucking
Free bird.
free. That's a free bird.
That's a free bird right there.
Hey.
Yeah. Anyways,
I
today's
think,
album is Leonard Skinner.
Yeah. I think in this, if this were a movie where you were the star of, this is the bird that teaches you that, it's not all birds.
Not all
are-
birds.
Are assholes. You know?
Perhaps the title of the movie.
Not all
birds are
birds.
assholes.
Yeah, or just not all
Parentheses,
birds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
or
all birds.
assholes, yeah. Or it's like the modern day equivalent of like if you have like a story of like an old white guy stuck in his ways,
Yes.
and then like
Yes.
he becomes like best friends with like a black guy, and he's
This
like,
is as good as it gets.
yeah, it's as good as it gets. Exactly. It's a modern day take on as good as it gets.
Fair enough. Well,
You and a
because
pigeon.
they're gonna see some serious bird prejudice at the beginning. Like, I'm not gonna like. It'll be the opposite of saving the cat for sure. Like, I'll just
Yeah.
be picking them off with like a Daisy air rifle or something on my front porch, and then you know what I mean.
And
then
that's
we'll
what
know.
gets
Just
you
shoot
put
your
in
eye
jail.
out.
That's what gets me into jail.
Yeah, you
except
get into jail
shooting
for animal
endangered
cruelty,
species.
for
Yeah.
for torturing these birds. You have like it starts off as like almost like a horror movie kind of situation. You
Yeah,
have
the
this
birds.
like
Yeah, for sure.
this no, like you're like the monster.
Oh.
And they're and you have a house and your basement is like a dungeon of like bird torture kind of thing.
This is gonna
And
be a
you're, like,
hard
shooting off
hill
and,
to
like,
climb as a protagonist in the story.
these birds, but you have a story. You know, it kind of does a flashback kind of thing.
Birds killed my family, and this is like
Birds
something
killed
like a
your
Punisher
family.
kind of situation.
No,
So
it just
now-
pooped on your hat one time.
Birds
Just
pooped on
pooped
your
on my
head,
head.
and now you kill birds.
I
And
like
now-
that hat.
now
It was
you,
the
like,
same hat.
collect and torture birds, and then you're found out. You're taken to jail, and then this pigeon flies in, and then you're like, this motherfucker, and then starts the great
Sure.
story.
Because he befriends you with the meth, you see.
Yeah, exactly. He
get
kind of
this girl a
scoots it
laptop.
towards
Because
you.
if you're
yeah.
in
Let's,
prison and
yeah.
like you're not gonna do meth, of course
No,
you're gonna do
I would
meth.
be. I think that would
course,
probably be
you're
that,
like,
that
I
would
need to
take up
pass.
probably the first half of probably the first act of the film. Definitely would be, or the second half of the first act would be me diving into a serious meth addiction.
Yeah.
You know
Of
what I mean?
course.
And then
Yeah.
owing that money or whatever, and then finding the pigeon. I think the biggest dilemma that I'm going to have is when the pigeon successfully brings the first package of meth in, is do I sell it to get out of debt and all the trouble that I'm in, or do I just do all the meth? I think I'm probably going to do the first package. You know what I mean? If I'm writing,
yeah.
if I'm
Yeah,
writing
yeah.
the movie.
Yeah.
But then
That's
the pigeon, like you're in cahoots with someone on the outside, but then you're kind of you're indebted to that person. But then the
Yeah.
pigeon kind of takes your side and helps you out of this situation.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
That is probably the best movie I've ever. And like I don't know, I'm definitely into. We could get into it right now, but we could probably get into the reason that we're here.
Yes.
We're here to talk about music at some point.
It's a music
50
podcast.
52
Yeah.
minutes.
We
in
were
time.
like, we're gonna get it. We're gonna get into it. We're like, we're starting this new year off. Fuck, gonna be a lot more music talk.
Yeah,
fucking
clean
ruined
slate.
Should
No,
we-
we didn't ruin it.
Okay.
No,
all right.
absolutely not.
Okay, but yeah, they deserve a little
It's
love.
semi-appropriate, and I'm gonna try to spin it. I'm gonna have a
Okay,
little spin
let's
zone
hear
here.
this.
about
Spin
how
me
to-
right around, babe.
Okay, today we're doing
Spin
bad
cycle.
music for bad people. The Cramps. This was a compilation album that was released by the record label after the band had stopped.
Mm-hmm.
And we're only gonna do a little bit of time on it because the album itself is 31 minutes,
Yeah.
14 seconds.
Yeah.
It is a very, very, very short album. Very controversial album.
Perfect length, in my opinion.
But
we can talk about
any
that.
fucking punk rock guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, great. That's
Yeah, it's perfect.
I listened to 12 records today. It was fantastic.
Yeah. So the band broke up, and then IRS Records came out with this. They are they're like now they're with Universal's who distributes them, but they've gone through EMI and a whole bunch of other people. So basically, the band broke up, and there's a whole bunch of these are just basically a bunch of B-sides that were
Yes.
thrown together. It's this, I don't know, like true Cramps fans are fucking, they don't like it, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to be honest, as a 35-year-old guy, I wasn't really around
Yes.
for this band coming out of it. This is the album that I discovered this band.
Hell yeah. Okay.
And I kind of liked that it was all these B-sides because I didn't really realize that. I thought these were like the fucking major hits of the
Right.
Cramps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily. I think maybe now, maybe a little more, but like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think that as contentious as like these like releases might be for like the true heads, I think that it's difficult for you to for just like a casual listener, somebody that's going to get into a band without them kind of like releasing these compilations, because you can years after the fact, right? The Misfits, I think they did it spectacularly, where they all of their original EPs and live recordings and demos and all of this stuff. If you're a fan of the band, then I'll hear 3 different versions of like Hollywood Babylon or
Yeah.
like TV Casualty or whatever. You know what I mean? If I like dig those songs that much. And if you want to like geek out on it, then you have the opportunity to like listen to all these different versions or harder to find shit that you're not going to be able to, right? Where the Cramps is not a band that has ever shied away from their own compilation albums with like Off the Bone.
Yeah,
and
that's
Greatest Hits
Off the
and
Bone
stuff
is
like that.
it's like that's the
They're-
other fucking it's the other one you listen to immediately after.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
It is a compilation kind of.
It is right. It's from like the first 3 albums and stuff. It has Goo Goo Muck on there. Like I know the Cramps from Psychedelic Jungle is like that's the record that I kind of like discovered with them and shit like that. And I think it has like Green Fuzz and Goo Goo Muck and all these like you know what I mean, like the like I think other than like Teenage Werewolf, I think it has like the biggest like the most recognizable songs to me. But when you get to put like all these different B-sides and all this stuff on it, and somebody has the fucking nerve to tell you that it's not like, you know what I mean, like the way that it should be enjoyed, who's gonna go and buy 7 fucking Cramps 45s as like as a 15-year-old kid getting into music? You know what I mean? When you can just have all the shit here.
Yeah, those
right?
records
So
are
I'm for it.
expensive too.
I'm for it. But like if it's a different situation where the record label like releases it in an effort to like fuck the band over and just make a quick buck or whatever, then
Well, I don't think the band got any of this money.
Then that's
like,
definitely
I think that's part, and because it is like it is his brother company of these really big labels, but it's like that's the fucking time too. And there's it's such a crazy band to me because I got super into the fucking 70s New York punk shit. I don't remember them ever being mentioned at all, and they're there.
Like
they're there the
Blondie
entire
Ramones, all
time.
this
You're like,
stuff,
what?
yeah.
What are you talking about? Like, there's such a and it's such a cool band. It's basically just this couple, that just like love being ghouls together.
Right?
Essentially,
Poison
So
Ivy.
they were together for like 30 whatever years
And
until
wild
Lux
stuff
died.
too. They as legend has it is Poison Ivy Rorschach, the guitar player and wife of the band. She would do like dominatrix work, and that would like kind of fund the early like recordings and like touring stuff with this band and shit
that's
like
cool.
that. Yeah. It's like super rad, weird 70s experimental kind of couple or whatever. I think getting together in like Ohio or something like that, and having something cool and being like, oh, we're gonna go and like crush and get to New York at this like perfect time. You know what I mean?
It's unbelievable.
It's fucking like it's poetry, man. It's cool as hell.
Yeah.
Poison Ivy writing so many fucking great songs.
coolest,
We
like,
played this really cool on the first recording. This is like a Canadian made guitar, which is weird.
Oh,
It's
really?
this weird. Yeah. Later on, she played like Gretches and stuff with that. But the first recordings have this like it's like this plastic bodied.
Hell yeah.
I can't remember the fucking name. David something guitars. But yeah, kind of a strange fucking thing to have. They have the funniest touring stories ever.
Oh, yeah?
And there's one of, I don't know, they're in some bumfuck town, and it's like they're like the band goes before it's such stand-up shit. It's like the same thing, and it's like kind of reminds me. It's like band goes up before us. This band goes up before us, plays like 9 Jimi Hendrix songs. Nothing but Hendrix. They get up, and it's like they do covers and stuff, but it's like they're
They
all
do a lot of them like that. Off
super
the
weird.
bone,
Like they're so good rad, but like
Definitely
the tones are so strange, and it's so great.
Well,
but
that's the cool thing about their band is that like, if somebody's gonna go and cover Jimi Hendrix, and you're gonna try to like get as Jimmy as you can with it. The thing about like the Cramps is they love their shit so much, but like for me, I'm not gonna get into like 50s rockabilly or like you know what I mean, stuff like that. I think, but the way that they took it and like creeped it out. And weird that
So
I'll have no
creepy.
idea that Goo Goo Muck is a fucking cover of like of a song from the 30s or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just horns and shit, but they just took the melody and stuff and made
Go
it,
go ma.
yeah, right. It's super fucking weird like that. And like a lot of their fucking songs are like the ones that like they wrote themselves are like for better or worse like I don't think they're the songs that they're like best known for, but they're the best known for just being the Cramps. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
just
and
through and
so-
through. They're just
yeah.
the fucking Cramps, which is
Totally.
super rad. So this band goes up,
They'll
plays
make their song,
nine.
whatever song, they'll make it their own, right?
They play 9 Hendrix songs, and then the Cramps go up and do their thing, and the band after them plays the same 9 Hendrix songs that the first one played, and they get driven out of town. Like they fucking were just hated, so because they're weird as fuck. Like you can't just be in Missouri or wherever the fuck, and like
Bringing
so
that shit at
they
that
literally
time,
like
right?
drill like there's so many stories like that of bands like the town just decides to like drunkenly drive your ass out of town.
Yeah.
The whole
Like,
bar
imagine
just gets
being
in their
the-
cars and starts driving you out of town. It's wild.
Because you're in a fucking coal mining town or whatever, and then some like weird New York fucking people come in and try to like creep you out when you just want like fucking like fucking Leonard Skinner or whatever the fuck.
You're in a fucking blue collar town doing alt comedy.
Get the fuck off the stage.
Yeah, it's
But they
wild.
also like they do have like this fucking like other like cool stories. They're trying to like just do cool shit, or like I don't know if it's like a publicity thing or because they really wanted to do it, but they played at this mental institution in like Napa Valley in California.
Yeah.
And there's this like cool footage of them playing in it, and like some of the people that are dancing on stage are patients or whatever, like at this facility, and then it kind of gets weird, right? Like if you read about it, you can read about like articles like from like the 70s or whatever, like when it happened, how like spooky and like weird it was or whatever. But if you read an article about it today, it's like how problematic was that, and is like having footage of this like jeopardizing doctor-patient confidentiality and stuff like that. And there's no rock and roll in the journalism as far as
man,
because like the way they got into it was so fucking cool, because basically they had some guy call like one of their manager or whatever call and request a different band. I think I can't remember the name of the other band, but they didn't end up doing it because I think I don't know if it was like either like a bait and switch the entire time, or the Cramps just like ended up getting the opportunity to play and went and did it. But
it's such a Cramps thing to do.
Right?
Yeah,
exactly. But like then it turns out that like there's a cool story about this guy that like that ran this place, that he would have like people come and perform. There's like a really famous musician's daughter is one of the most like notable people or whatever that played there, but he'd get like blues acts and like kind of light, you know what I mean, piano and shit like that or whatever. And they were like kind of, you know, it's therapeutic or whatever, it's music, right? But then all of a sudden the fucking Cramps show up one day with a band from San Francisco called I can't remember the name of this band, but they're awful. You know what I mean? They're just an awful San Francisco punk band, right? So they go up and they're kind of more spectacle than they are band, right? And then so like it's the equivalent of kind of like the Germs, if you've ever seen like The Decline of Western Civilization Part 2.
Yeah.
Just fucking awful music, but for whatever reason kind of, you know what I mean? It's the start of this next wave, right?
Yeah.
And then the Cramps go on stage and fucking crush. They do you know what I mean? They play all their songs. They do it like almost like just as if they're playing like a packed house. You know, and you can kind of see people like walking.
I think
around.
that every show they did was like that. They're such performers. The performance of them is always like, holy. I mean, it's like this giant pompadour. These fucking crazy pants and shit. Poison Ivy's just dressed crazy, like red animal print everywhere. Like it's like huge fucking hair.
I think she's underrated as like one of the like icons of like female icons of rock and roll or whatever, right? It's
big
like,
time,
you know
man.
what I
Like
mean?
if you go and look at her now, like everything she's done since, like she just like she writes and composes like crazy amount of shit.
Oh, really?
Like super talented person.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
So rad. It's such a great album. Admittedly, I like the rest of the world. I think I watched Wednesday.
Dude.
Yeah. I was
Dude,
gonna
you brought
say
it back
shout
to
out
you
to Wednesday.
Yeah. And then there's a great dance scene and Goo Goo Muck plays, and I was like, I was like, man, the fucking Cramps are great.
Yeah.
It was so cool. I was talking to over Christmas when we went to this lovely resort. I asked Jackie if she wanted pressed ham. She's like, huh? And I pressed my bare ass cheeks against the window. It was awesome. We're hanging out. We're having a good time. And I just put the Cramps on. And you start to, like, when they... Discovering the Cramps, I was like a Misfits fan. It wasn't like hard enough for me or whatever at the time. And then the older that you get, you start to, like... Our fucking anniversary is Halloween, for fuck's sakes. Like, we just like spooky shit or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then you start to... It's cool that... I was asking Jackie, I was like, did Wednesday bring back the Cramps, or did Wednesday just like remind us that we like the Cramps to be tied? You know what I mean?
The weird thing is that because that dance scene fucking blew up, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's fucking, doing it on TikTok and shit. But the stupid fucking thing is that the song that people are using on TikTok is like a fucking Lady Gaga song.
Yeah,
I've
seen them do that. Yeah, when they're doing it now.
So I think young people fucking, they're just like, whatever.
They're just kind of over it.
Pop music or whatever. But I think anyone, because then there is also like I'm on the subreddits, as everyone knows.
Yeah.
I was on the Wednesday subreddit or whatever. I know there were a lot of people saying like, oh fuck, like this, I love that they use the Cramps in this scene and shit. So I think it is kind of
it's there, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of funny too because with this kind of like resurgence or whatever, you start to remember that like they've been here all along. Like there's an article on the internet you can read. I think it's like 125 or 225 like appearances of the Cramps music in movies and stuff, especially horror movies or anything that's
well, we started watching the Sabrina reboot last night because I was kind of looking for something with a similar tone to Wednesday. I'm into it. I watched Jonny fell asleep. I watched like the first 4 episodes. Each episode's like an hour long. It's very similar tone where it's like, teenagers and it's like spooky but also like campy. And so I will say they lean a little bit more into like the camp side of it, and so they're talking about, you know,
What was the
modern
cat's name?
day
Salem?
Salem.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Is he there?
They're Yep. They're talking about
His,
they're
yeah,
talking about,
it's not like
modern
that.
day.
They don't go for the joke in this show. It's kind of
There is actually
there's some
but
humor for
so
sure.
they're
They should have done it like they did Thing.
yes.
Yeah.
Like keep it the same.
yeah.
Keep it with that
They-
shitty animatronic
Yeah.
cat.
Yeah, but they've just kind of changed it. But they do still they lean more into like, you know, modern day kind of talking points. So like you know, like the like trans stuff, women's stuff, like all of that, which is good. They lean a little bit too much into it. But that's the audience they're going for. But on the other side of it, it also gets way fucking darker and way like gnarlier than Wednesday. Like
There's
one
an
of the
opening
opening
scene graphic,
scenes
yeah.
is
Oh,
so
wow, really?
graphic.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like a pretty interesting
Yeah, because Wendy was
contrast.
pretty tame. Pretty
It had to
tame.
build
They
up
have
to the
some
wildest shit
like
that was
scares
in
and
This
stuff
one
like
fucking
that.
starts off
But
pretty
this one
heavy, yeah.
starts off with a fucking wild, like it takes like you're like, holy fuck, that's pretty insane.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have some. I'm getting more into it. The more I
episodes,
go,
yeah.
you can. Yeah, as long as you're okay with, just being like, oh, whatever. When they keep bringing up kind of the same issues like over and over again, they kind of go a little too hard on that, but it's still like pretty fucking good. I know it's nice to have on while I'm embroidering. But anyways, there is a scene where they have the Cramps playing.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow. That's
It
kind of
isn't-
crazy. Like right away, they're like,
Yeah.
coming down and
Yeah.
you were excited to say it, but we were watching the Halloween trilogy. For anybody that's a fan of Michael Myers,
Jackie was telling us before we hit record here. She's like, yeah, it was good.
You're watching
Dude,
the
it's
new
fantastic,
trilogy.
man.
So
The,
fucking good.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis is
The
in it.
newer 3.
Actually
Newer
written
3.
and like produced by like a group of dudes. One of them being Danny McBride.
Yeah. Danny
Interesting.
McBride was a
Yeah.
writer and producer on all 3 of them.
Yeah, which
Sick.
is crazy, and
Yeah.
it's probably like
It has some
there's
funny
so many
moments, too, yeah.
Halloween iterations or whatever. Rob Zombie fucking took it in a direction, and there's a bunch of the sequels and stuff like that. But this one kind of it's a trilogy that just doesn't acknowledge anything after the first movie, and basically kind of starts about like 30
It's
years
like,
later.
Yeah, it's like 40 years
40
later.
years later,
something
yeah,
like that.
and
Yeah,
it's
just
fucking
doing, like,
fantastic, yeah. And
It's
I
really
think the
good.
second one there's a great sequence with I Was a Teenage Werewolf, so like Cramps are, you know what I mean, they make them pop
Yeah.
up, you know what I mean.
They
They're so
do,
down.
yeah.
I feel like they're a band for me that I'm like every, not even like once a year, but every couple years I'm like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, this fucking band.
Yeah,
They're
Yeah.
so sick.
I
It's
think
just great guitar tones.
Every time they come into my life, they come back stronger.
for sure.
Yeah.
They are kind of like, yeah, it's a little less like serious misfits. Like it's just like
Totally.
you're like,
Yeah, it's fun.
Like, yeah, I don't get like Danzig vibes of like
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
a prick.
Well, yeah, definitely.
I'm a
Yeah.
giant.
It
Like, oh,
kinda-
they look like they're having
it-
fun.
It is
but
just,
it
like,
takes
fun,
Elvis-y kind of like
Well, that's what you were
that
saying,
old school
too.
thing is that I love Danzig's lyrics and shit like that, but I also love like the tone, the drums, the energy, and all of that stuff too, right? Like it is.
Yeah.
It's what I think of like punk rock because the stuff that like the Misfits spawned as far as like horrorcore punk, I see more of like that because like the Cramps definitely did too, but they kind of spawned like psychobilly, right? So if you want like to
And
get like a lot
Gothabilly
of,
apparently is a thing.
there's a
I did
bunch
not
of
know.
there's a bunch
I
of
didn't-
like
a lot of
subgenres
billies.
and all this
a lot of
Billy
Billies
stuff,
out
right?
there.
But the funny thing about psychobilly is that they kind of took like the cool thing about the Cramps is that like they would probably do their thing and like, you know, and get beat up for it or whatever, and like, you know, it's just like they're like the weirdos in the room or whatever, and fine with it. But when you take psychobilly to like the Meteors and all these different bands that like the UK really exploded with it, and if you get into like a lot of that stuff, it's almost like macho dude at like at a bar, which is silly because you're singing about like horror movies and like and sci-fi stuff, but you'll still punch the shit out of it. You know what I mean? There's this weird
Definitely a
kind of-
bigger a scene in the UK.
Yeah.
Like even them, like they
Oh, I
hit
think
way
they're
harder.
much popular
Yeah, they
than
hit
that.
way
Yeah.
harder in the UK than they did in the States.
Yeah.
I think it was
Yeah.
just like too weird for some people. I think they were
Totally.
just like too comfortable with how weird they were. 'Cause it was like they were
Yeah.
so like, yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah,
Totally.
it is like you were saying too. It has like the vibe. It reminds you of like the scene in Pulp Fiction where they walk into like the bar. And
Jackrabbit Slims
yeah,
and stuff,
they-
yeah.
it
Yeah,
has like
yeah,
a
yeah.
similar vibe to
For
that,
sure.
like kind
or
of
like
50s,
like Texas kind of like
Yeah.
you know this whole like dimly lit, something bad can happen, and we're okay with it kind of vibe
Yeah.
or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like
Neon
I
signs
really
and
dig
shit.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Have a couple cocktails and do some drugs and take your clothes off. You know what I mean? This is that
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a great album.
Hell yeah,
It
dude.
was,
Yeah, go check it
great
out. Again,
Great
it's
band,
controversial, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, there's some fucking...
Whatever.
And I honestly,
yeah.
it opened up my eyes to be like, oh, yeah, this is B-sides. Like, and
Yes.
B-sides are the fucking shit.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Shout out to the B side and somebody taking a swing and kind of like reviving some shit that might have gotten swept over in the years.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah, man.
All right.
It's
All right,
like
gang.
Psychedelic Jungle Rules too.
Peace.
Boosh.